Will Imhotep be challenged this week? Well, we'll discuss that, plus 2 weeks worth of games next on Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. Catholic League and the team that everybody's talking about. One final thought, let's get a big, bold prediction. Welcome to another edition of Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein. And Mike, we haven't really given the Central League much love this year on Varsity Voice, but there's a big matchup coming up on Friday, October 7th. Ridley at Markol Newtown. They're rivals, and they're two very good teams.
They are two very good teams. Markol Newtown has been crushing opponents this year, winning by an average of 24 points a game. And their quarterback, Anthony Paoletti, rolling this season, set a school record with 375 yards passing in their win against Upper Darby, 37-12. I really like this Markol Newtown team. And Ridley, they can't afford to be looking ahead because they have a tough game this week as they're taking on Springfield Delco. Springfield Delco has a great running back to keep an eye on, Jaden McKenzie. In his last game, 5 rushes, 97 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So even though we're looking ahead, Ridley certainly can't afford to.
I don't think they will because they've had a pretty tough schedule so far. They beat Garnet Valley, beat Haverford, two very good teams in that league as well. So they've really had a pretty tough schedule. I think they know that Springfield Delco is undefeated and they're going to be a tough team, and Markol Newtown undefeated as well. So a lot of good action in the Central League coming up over the next couple of weeks. Now, in the Pioneer Athletic Conference, we've talked about Perkiomen Valley quite a bit here on the show. They've really turned some heads. But you can't forget about Springford. And on October 7th, those two do battle in probably the biggest rivalry game in that conference.
Yeah, it really is, and that should be a great game. I like Springford. They're 4-1. I'm not impressed by their 4 easy wins. I'm impressed by their double overtime loss. Now, that might sound confusing, but that was against District 3 Power Wilson. That's a really good football team. And that's a game where you build character. They only lost that game by 1 point in double overtime. And again, that's a loss. That's a state playoff game. That's a District 3 team that's probably going to win that district, probably going to make it to the state playoffs. That's a good loss, if such a thing makes sense, because it gets you ready for a game like Perk Valley. Now, Perk Valley had a good win last week as well, 27-24. They defeated Haverford, ending a 21-game winning streak, but they lost Justin Jaworski. With no Justin Jaworski and a motivated Springford team, this could be an upset alert.
It really could be, and Steven Sturm, the great quarterback for PV, is really going to have to find his other receivers and spread the ball out a little bit. But Springford, yeah, I really like their team, and look out for this guy. I love this name, Stone Scarcelli. He's a great athlete. He's a receiver, but he can also run, and he can even throw the ball as well. So that is a guy that you really want to look out for Springford. So that should be a heck of a matchup in the Pioneer Athletic Conference next weekend. Now, also next weekend, we'll be covering a game on SFBN, a Suburban 1 game between Plymouth Whitemarsh and Upper Dublin. Now, you look at this matchup, and in prior years, this would be a mammoth matchup. Right. But how good are these teams this year? We really don't know yet.
Yeah, I have no idea. Upper Dublin looks like they have a good defense. They've only allowed 7 points defensively this season. But the teams they faced, a combined 3-17 on the year. So this is going to be Upper Dublin's really first test. But Plymouth Whitemarsh, they lost to Satterton to open up the season, but their opponent's a combined 9-16. So I don't really know what to make of Plymouth Whitemarsh either. I think we're going to find out that someone is good at the end of this game. I just don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. I would say Upper Dublin probably the favorite, especially at home. But you never know with PW. They've got a nice running back by committee going on right now. Upper Dublin, new quarterback. So we shall see how it plays out.
Now, the thing I would keep an eye on with Plymouth Whitemarsh is they're going to be coming off of a bye. It's going to be a 2-0 victory over Springfield. Springfield not fielding a football team this year, so it's a forfeit. They were scheduled to face them this week, whereas Upper Dublin has a tough matchup against Wissahickon. So you're going to have a team in UD coming in that's a little beat up against the team in Plymouth Whitemarsh coming off rest.
And that's a good point about the Wissahickon game. It might be a good measuring stick because Wissahickon only lost to PW by 3 points, and they're an improved football team. So we'll see how they play against Upper Dublin. That'll be on SFBN next Friday night on October 7th. Now, the SFBN game of the week this week, pretty good one. Imhotep Charter at Malvern Prep on Friday night, September 30th at 7 o'clock. What a great battle between the pub and the Interact.
Yeah, it really is. Imhotep is just unbelievably good. I said earlier on that Markol Newtown was crushing everyone, but Imhotep is crushing everyone. They just allowed their first points of the season last week at a 44-6 win over Graz. Just athletes everywhere, all over the field, just unbelievably good football players. Malvern Prep, they have a win against LaSalle under their belt. That is a good win. They lost to South Jersey Power St. Augustine, who's also a really good football program. This is game of the week, game of the year potential. Any label you want to put on this game, just watch it because it's going to be good.
And you can watch it on the Sports Fan Base Network. Again, that is Friday night at 7 o'clock. Well, we have a lot more to get to. Stay tuned here on Varsity Voice presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Varsity Voice. This past week we sent Jack Kapp out to Harriton High School to learn tennis. This should be fun.
We're here at Harriton High School, and I am going to learn tennis.
Okay, circle. Oops. I want to hear go on three! 1, 2, 3! Go! I want to hear a fight on three! 1, 2, 3, fight! I want to hear a win on three! 1, 2, 3! Win! All together! Go fight, win, win! Woo!
That was really good.
Thanks! Woo!
Serving, right?
Serving.
Okay.
So the three parts of the serve are the toss,
Toss.
taking your racket back behind your head to get more power,
Okay.
and then moving into the court. So that it's all about power with the serve.
Okay.
People also can adjust their grip for spin, but we're going to focus on the basics.
Yeah, don't make it too hard. Is this the most difficult thing in the game?
I think it is because it all depends on you. Like if you're playing doubles, sometimes your teammate can help you out, but the serve really comes down to one player, and so like you have all the chance to make the error.
You have to stay behind the line
You stay behind the line.
when the ball is hit, or
So after you touch the ball, you can move into the court, but before that,
you have to be behind the line.
so down, up, hit, move in.
Okay. I guess I should have hit it, huh?
Yeah. So let's up. Nice. That was a little bit far, but it was a good first try.
It was a good first try?
It was a good
So
first
go
try.
more downward.
Yeah.
So as I'm going back, I'm tossing, all right?
And you want to be facing, you want to act like you're skateboarding to that corner right there. So you face so that you're skateboarding to the
I've never skateboarded
to the
either,
pole.
but okay, all right, okay.
That's what,
But it sounds good. So, okay.
So, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a little bit more complicated.
But that was a good shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing, what are they called now? Ground strokes?
Yeah.
Okay, give me some of the nuances here. Show me what to do.
What you want to do is you first want to split step, which is like jumping like this, and it's
Okay.
like getting ready for the ball.
Just
that's
ready.
coming.
You're just readying yourself.
Yeah, with
Okay.
the racket out in front, so that way you can
Okay.
like take it back either way.
Okay, so that's like a sort of a pose or just get ready position.
Yeah, ready
Okay,
position,
all right.
basically. And then you want to pivot and turn your racket to the outside, to the side to get ready for it. And the ball is like, pretend it's like coming in.
So you do that after you see where the ball is coming?
Yeah, when you see the ball
So
coming over the net, you just,
You turn your body to the side.
yeah.
Okay.
And then you step in,
Okay.
and when the ball's, and then you drop your racket head and follow through.
Okay.
Make your feet a little wider.
A little
like
wider.
At least shoulder length.
Shoulder width apart,
And,
right?
like be on your toes. You ready?
Okay.
And then turn, pivot to your right.
Pivot.
And your hand out in front like you're gonna catch it.
Okay.
Now step with your
Step.
foot out in front.
Go ahead.
And drop your racket and follow through.
Okay. Now go. Perfect. Was it in?
Close. It was very close.
All right, it was close. All right. That one wasn't close.
Alright,
Woo!
You're still like pulling up to look.
I'm pulling up.
So like make sure you stay low.
Okay.
And make sure you're looking at your point of focus and not like pulling up.
Is it?
Which is making it.
We'll try to do it right this time.
That was.
That's okay.
That might have been it.
Oh, that's nasty. Yeah. Nobody's returning that one.
You ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay. On your toes.
Okay.
And then when you see a pro shot coming, you run. And you split step.
And
And if it's a forehand, you step with your left leg. And if it's a backhand, step with your right leg. The split step is key.
the what step?
The split step. When you're running, you split.
Okay.
So you start in the middle always with your hand up here
Okay.
and your hand in continental grip.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay? So this is forehand grip. And then this is how we shift like that.
So you actually, when you go to backhand, you're actually shifting it. So you're already running and you're anticipating.
Exactly. You rush to
You're
net.
anticipating the rush to the net.
We rush to
based-
net before, right after we hit the ball. You ready? Hit that ball. And now rush to net. Split step. Forehand volley. Perfect.
Nice and soft. Good. Oh yeah, you put her away.
Always on your toes. Ready? Now run up. Split step. Yeah!
There it is.
Got it. Keep running, keep running. Split. What happened to your split?
Hey Eagles fans, I bet you're feeling pretty good this week. Carson Wentz took the Eagles community by storm with his great performance. Do you think it's his height, his athletic prowess, or maybe his toughness? Or do you think it's his mind? Coach Peterson thinks it's his mind. He said that Wentz watches films and prepares set strategy for the game more than Peyton Manning did. Hey, how else do you think he hit all those receivers? If you're looking for magic, you need Dorenbos. But if you're looking to think like an athlete and you want to learn to think like Carson Wentz, call us at Think First Sports.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the sports fan-based network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Bill's Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Check out the Philly Celebration Show on October 8th at the Crown Plaza on Street Road in Bensalem to meet some of the Phillies greats from the 80s and 90s. The event is free admission, so don't miss it. Go to www.billsportsmemorabilia.com for more information.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. I'm now joined by Aaron Ace Carter of the Philadelphia Inquirer. And Ace, big game in the city. Malvern Prep of the Interact taking on Imhotep Charter of the Public League. And Malvern has played a pretty decent schedule so far. A lot of teams from out of state that we really don't know a whole lot about. But they did beat LaSalle at Franklin Field. That's a huge win. But how good are the Friars?
I think the Friars are definitely legit, and I expect them to contend with Haverford School, who's a three-time defending Interact champions. And I've talked to Malvern head coach Aaron Brady a few times, and he's a guy that he's never going to shy away from playing against good competition. It's a team that likes to travel. Last season, they started the year by going to Soldier Field in Chicago playing a game. You mentioned playing at Franklin Field this season. And I think the thinking behind it is when you get your guys in unfamiliar territory like that, if they can perform well, I think it bodes well for you once you return home and you play a team like Imhotep.
Well, one of their top performers missed a couple of games this year. O'Shawn Allison, one of the best running backs in the area. He missed the LaSalle and Pope John games, the second and third games of the year. He got hurt in that St. Augustine game first of the year. Came back against Gilman, 100-yard performance. How important is O'Shawn Allison from Malvern to beat Imhotep?
He's one of those guys that makes that team go, and O'Shawn is an explosive type of talent, the type of guy you have to worry about scoring anytime he touches the ball. He's that type of athletic speed, quickness, and deceptively strong also. The other thing that makes him so dangerous is Zach Fernandez, who's also in that Malvern backfield, who's a junior as well. And so the combination of the two of them, I think they make a duo that's one of the better backfield duos in the area, in the city. And so I think that'll make it difficult for Imhotep to focus on any one of them in particular. Both can catch passes out of the backfield as well, so Imhotep has the key on both of them.
Yeah, certainly. Zach Fernandez actually leads the team in receptions, so certainly a good point there. Now, Imhotep, we talk about them, defending state champions. They've always been huge up front, and really no different this year, but Malvern Prep, they've got a pretty good defensive line. How do these two lines match up in the trenches?
And you know, Ari, I'm glad that you bring that up because I think for me that's one of the keys to this game. And I think what's going to happen up front will go a long way to determine who wins this game. And you look at Imhotep, their offensive line average in total tonnage is over 1,600 pounds up front. Justin Johnson, who was a starter on last year's state championship team, is the biggest of the bunch, 6'7", about 330 pounds. So you look at Malvern's defensive line. Seth Janney, 6'3", 280. You know, he's got D1 wrestling offers, D1 football offers. And so I think the key for Malvern is going to be to get some sort of penetration up front. You can't just consistently allow Imhotep to get 5-6 yards of push up front and they're running downhill. That'll make it a long day for you.
Yeah, it's been a long day for Imhotep's opponents this year as well. Imhotep has put up over 200 points in 4 games, and they've only allowed 6, and that was to Simon Gratz last week. But you look at their schedule, they haven't really been challenged. Somewhat of a weak schedule. This is probably their biggest game of the year thus far.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. And you look at Malvern, I think one of the keys is keep the game close early, and then you never know what happens late. You can get a turnover, you never know what's going to happen. But I think you touched on it, Imhotep's defense. In 4 games this season, they've only allowed 64 total yards of offense, wow, which is mind-blowing. But, so when I look at that defense, one of the things that jumps out is the defensive secondary of Ishim Young, who's got offers from almost every major Division I team in college, and then Mike Crawford, who's one of the defensive backs who made a big play last season against Archbishop Wood in the 3A city title game, who caused a fumble, returned that fumble for a touchdown. So with Imhotep, you like the defensive, aggression of the secondary, and up front. That combination is why they're dominating teams.
Well, they certainly are, and we'll see if Malvern can potentially compete with Imhotep. We'll see that on SFBN on Friday night. Now for our game of the week. In a couple of weeks, we kick it over to Mike at the desk.
Thank you very much, Ari. Here to talk about next week's game of the week on SFBN between Plymouth Whitemarsh and Upper Dublin is Drew Markol from the Courier-Times and the Intelligencer. Drew, thanks so much for a couple minutes. We appreciate it.
Mike, glad to be here.
Upper Dublin, a lot of people thought they were weak last year, and then they got into the district playoffs, ran through it, and ended up winning the district. This is a good football team, and people are, I think, starting to believe in them.
I think so. I think the thought was, they lost a lot from last year, including quarterback Ryan Stover, and that maybe it might be a bit of a struggle. That hasn't been the case. They're undefeated, and they're just rolling right along again.
With the new classifications this year, Upper Dublin is in 5A. How much of a difference is that compared to that 6A level?
Mike, that's a huge difference. You look at the 6A teams, the large school enrollments, the biggest schools, the North Penns and the Neshaminies and the Perk Valleys. But now you drop down a classification in District 1. You have Upper Dublin, you have undefeated Academy Park, the District 1 AAA champ from a year ago. You have Springfield Delco, an undefeated team, and maybe you throw a Unionville in there. But if you're Upper Dublin, you've got to be thinking, we've got a legit shot here at another district title, in 5A.
And for Plymouth Whitemarsh, they're going to be coming into this game next week off of a bye due to a forfeit. Springfield not fielding a team this year, so that's going to be a forfeit victory for Plymouth Whitemarsh. This is a team that lost their opening game. Heading into this game with a forfeit, they'll have won 5 straight, and they have a real good rushing attack as well.
They do, led by Jamal Khan. He's one of a good bunch of backs for PW, and I think, as you mentioned, with the bye week for them for PW, their quarterback Joe Sturble got banged up a little bit last week in the win against Wissahickon. He was able to come back, but now he'll get 2 weeks off, which is good. A very good linebacker John McGinley missed the game because of injury. Now he gets a chance to come back and get a rest and hopefully be ready for Upper Dublin. So. That's I think it's going to come at the bye week is coming at a great time for PW.
Now the interesting thing about this game, a lot of people say both teams have some weak schedules. Upper Dublin, their opponents this year, 3-17 combined records, and on the other side for Plymouth Whitemarsh, their opponents are combined 9-16. So is this the first good football team that the other one is going to play this season?
It could well be. PW lost to Souderton, a decent team in its opener. Then they beat Abington 7-0. Abington's improving, but especially in their conference, this is the game. The winner of this game likely runs the table and in the American Conference and wins the title. PW has been very stingy with its run defense, but they little sketchy with their pass defense. And Upper Dublin does throw the ball very well with quarterback Justin Horn. So, this one. Again, back to your question, yes, this is the game that probably decides the American Conference between the 2 best teams in that conference.
All right, Drew, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Anytime, Mike.
That's Drew Markol from the Bucks County Courier-Times and the Intelligencer. Let's take a look at our upcoming broadcast schedule here on SFBN.
All right, time to make predictions. And Mike, I know you had a pretty good week a couple of weeks ago, but I got to brag this week because I had the Coatesville game.
I did not. I was surprised that Downingtown West lost.
Well, you have a chance to redeem yourself this week. You ready to go? Okay, let's start in the Central League in a couple of weeks. Ridley at Marple Newtown. Who you got?
I like Marple Newtown in this game. I really like their quarterback, Anthony Paoletti. We mentioned Marple Newtown winning by an average of 24 points a game. I think they're able to keep it rolling.
But I don't think Marple Newtown has really been challenged yet this year, and their first challenge is going to be that Ridley game, which is why I think Ridley will ultimately win the game. Now, Ridley does have a tough matchup with Springfield Delco this Friday, so we'll see what happens there. But the Raiders have already beaten Garnet Valley and Haverford, so I like the Ridley Raiders in this one. Okay, Pioneer Athletic Conference. This is going to be a good one in a couple of weeks. Perk Valley at Springford.
I'm going to go with Springford in this game. I put the Perk Valley team on upset alert earlier. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Take Springford in this game. I think they're just a little bit more battle tested, and Perk Valley with no Justin Jaworski, that matters.
Well, you just said it. It definitely matters, and that's why I think Springford will win the game. No Justin Jaworski. Sturm, a very good quarterback, but missing his best weapon. Springford, a lot of talent on both sides of the football. Going to be a good one, but I like Springford. Now let's go to a couple of weeks. The SFBN Game of the Week on October 7th. PW at Upper Dublin.
I like Upper Dublin in this matchup. I think the Cardinals are strong. I really do like this team. Their head coach, Brett Stover, is a pretty good one. I think Plymouth Whitemarsh is just a little bit too weak. That loss against Harriton might hurt.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think Upper Dublin overall just the stronger team. Brett Stover, a great coach. He doesn't have his son playing quarterback anymore, but he still knows what he's doing. He's got some athletes. I think Upper Dublin, with the home field advantage, will win this one. Okay, the SFBN Game of the Week this Friday night. Imhotep at Malvern Prep.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Imhotep just simply because I'm not betting against Imhotep. They might be able to play the Eagles, and I would give them a shot.
I agree. I like Imhotep too. Now, Malvern Prep will probably be the biggest challenger for the Panthers this year so far, and I give Malvern a little bit of a chance, but Imhotep, they are just so strong on both sides of the ball. So I like Imhotep. So we agree on most, disagree on one, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. Mike, thanks for joining me as always.
Thanks for having me.
Check out our highlight of the week.
The highlight of the week is brought to you by ProVantage Insurance and Financial Services. With over 40 years of experience, ProVantage will work closely with you to find the best coverage for your auto, health, life, homeowners, and business insurance. ProVantage puts clients first, and they'll do what it takes to ensure your future through the proper protection. We welcome the opportunity to add you to our family.
Can you believe what has happened in the last couple of plays of this ball game? Fumble the ball back into the end zone, and it's recovered by Abington, who takes the lead 34-31 with 3:19 remaining.
Keep up with everything SFBN on our website and watch our next episode of Varsity Voice on Thursday, October 13th.
Select video equipment for Varsity Voice has been provided by DMP Video. DMP Video. You provide the moment, we'll capture the memories. For more information about our videography services, please go to our website at www.dmpvid.com. The Sports Fan Base Network, this area's leader in high school sports broadcasting, is continually bringing you the most in-depth coverage. Join us for Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN, where we'll have interviews with players, coaches, writers, and more, plus analysis, highlights, and a variety of features on major topics in the Delaware Valley high school sports community. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on TCN and 11:30 on CSN for the best and only high school sports show around, Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.